So shall we start with the institutional opening, Javier?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
You're going to start with the institutional opening.
So Justin, you have the floor right now.
Wonderful. Well, gracias a todos para atender a nuestra charla, nuestro seminario. I'd like to thank CDTI and my guests here that are also speaking and all of the attendees. I thought, first of all, I'd like to start off by sharing a little bit about who Jobs Ohio is and how we came to be. We're an institution that was set up about 10 years ago as a nonprofit entity with the goal of helping international companies, well, and domestic and international companies invest here in the state of Ohio. One of the interesting aspects about how our organization was started is that we maintain control of the sale and distribution of spirituous liquor in the state of Ohio. And the profits of the sale of liquor go to fund our economic development efforts. So when we offer a company incentives, we can provide funding for a really long period of time that sometimes in other states, they may be a bit more challenged to do given on the funding model that they have, which is funds that are appropriated from the state government. We are set up to be a one-stop shop for companies. I have colleagues, my colleague Alina, who's on the phone. We have representatives throughout Europe and in Spain to help your company navigate what it takes to establish a business here in the United States and here in Ohio in particular. Everything from finding workforce to negotiating incentives to permitting. We want to make sure that it's easy for you to find a home here in Ohio. A little bit about our footprint from Spain. I'd like to say that it's small, but due to recent efforts, it is growing. We have some 20 establishments employing around 1,200 people here in Ohio. Some of the firms that you may have heard of, one of the largest construction firms called Turner Construction is owned by a Spanish company. And we've had recent investments from Syca and a company called Fluidtex, which is a partner to IKEA, supplier to IKEA, and also does work in the automotive supply chain. But there are more opportunities, and that's what we'd like to discuss with you here today. In addition to automotive, we believe there's opportunity in both the chemicals and food processing sectors. In addition to CDTI, Jobs Ohio partners with many other Spanish entities, to name a few: the U.S. Embassy in Madrid, eChecks, and various others. Finally, we have two different sister city relationships I'd like to highlight. Toledo, which is a partner here in Ohio to Toledo, and Columbus, Ohio is a partner to Seville. A little bit about our results. This year, we're expected to have a banner year in terms of job growth and investment. We're anticipating over 30,000 jobs added to the economy. And keep in mind that Jobs Ohio covers a section of about 40% of the total economy. We have 10 different sectors and industries that we work in, but we don't work in sectors like government or retail, for example. These 30,000 jobs we anticipate will provide nearly $1.5 billion in payroll and nearly $6 billion of capital investment. We're also using these funds from our liquor enterprise to really grow the state's economy by investing in infrastructure and sites for companies to come to Ohio. With some $250 million, we're investing in a program to prepare sites for the companies of tomorrow. We're also investing in innovation as well. We have over $300 million that we are investing in innovation districts throughout our three largest cities, Cincinnati, Columbus, and Cleveland. And finally, the challenge that every company is facing is acquisition of talent. And we are investing substantially in growing our talent recruitment and resources team. Finally, thank you again for the opportunity to speak to you today. I would like to introduce a video of Ohio's Lieutenant Governor John Husted, who's talking a little bit about Ohio's position in the new economy as it relates to electric vehicles. Thanks.
I don't think we can hear it, Justin.
Okay, let's try this again.
These are quality of life issues.
There we
When
go.
we think about smart mobility, we focus on connected, automated, shared, and electric solutions. I would like to share a few thoughts with you around the EV sector. The automotive industry
Justin, but we cannot see the.
and the Dwight
the
Houston
film.
administration, we understand
We
we are
cannot see the film.
in a global marketplace. China has heavily invested in the EV industry with the goal of transitioning to all electric or hybrid cars by 2035. And Europe saw significant policy changes in 2020, which resulted in a more than 260% year-over-year growth in electric vehicle purchasing and a market share of 20% on the passenger vehicle side. In the US, General Motors just committed to spending $35 billion on electric and autonomous vehicles through 2025, and Ford increased electric vehicle spending to over $30 billion by 2030. Favorable policies, continued advances in powertrain and battery technology, expanding vehicle availability, longer driving ranges, faster charge times, lower costs, and superior performance will continue to accelerate the market adoption in Ohio. Our conversations around EVs and the supply chains that go with them are focused on the economic and national security issues that we all care about. We want these jobs for Ohio and Ohio workers. As we look to scale smart mobility solutions, including EV infrastructure and vehicle adaptation, the Drive Ohio Alliance and the network of public and private partners assembled here today will be of paramount importance. In Ohio, we are leading the development of the 21st century mobility economy. I thank you for your participation and we wish you great success.
That was perfect, Justin. Are you done? Are we supposed to pass the floor to our general director that I see him connected?
Yes, please.
Okay, Javier, thank you very much for joining us. I saw you before. I have lost you.
I am here. I'm here.
Okay, Javier, I'm sorry. I have lost you for a while. And yes, Javier, well, Javier Ponce is the General Director of CDTI, and he's going to welcome you on behalf of of CDTI. Javier, you have the floor, please.
Okay, thank you, Juan Antonio. Thank you very much. First of all, good afternoon here in Spain, good morning in the States. Colleagues, may I welcome you all to this seminar on the automotive industry, and I would like to start by thanking our Ohio partners that has explained how they'll deal with innovation activities for promoting the competitiveness of the companies and the Ohio region and activities. So I would like to thank to Jobs Ohio and One Columbus for the support with the organization of this seminar. Also, I would like to thank Mr. Bridge, with whom I am sharing the opinions, and of course, Mrs. Maria Jesus Fernandez with the Spanish Trade and Investment Department in Chicago, and Mrs. Helen Crowley with the United States Embassy here in Madrid. And all of firms and organizations that we will present today and the issues they are related with automotive. The automotive industry in Spain is, I think it's well known by everybody, but I would like to explain something in relation with the importance that it's in our economy. Okay, it's one of the most strategic economic sectors and industrial contributors to our gross domestic product. Spain is the second largest vehicle manufacturer in Europe. We are the first manufacturer of commercial vehicles in Europe, and the eighth largest vehicle manufacturer in the world. So this is a picture of the importance we have. If we consider the auxiliary items in relation to automotive, we have more than 17 vehicle manufacturing plants, facilities, more than 1,000 equipment and components manufacturers, and we are the fourth largest component manufacturer in Europe. The biggest Spanish companies related with automotive are in component manufacturer area. Okay, and this sector employ more than 10% of all the manufacturing employment in Spain. So this is the picture we have at the present for this industry. You have considered the importance for the government of Spain that this sector has, and maybe you have heard something during the last month in relation with a strategic project for transforming our economy in relation with automotive, okay? Especially on adapting the manufacturing facilities and activities for the new electric and hydrogen vehicles for the future. Spain is de facto relevant country as regards automotive industry. Concurrently and according to the Advanced Technology Product System of the United States Commerce Department, the automotive industry is one of the 5 industrial sectors that significantly contribute to innovation and research and development. The state of Ohio is one of its more relevant contributors, and I think a lot of people here in Spain knows some parts of Ohio like a big industry in relation to motor, okay, to automotive. Being the automotive industry a common strength of both Spain and states, it's a natural circumstance that we made to share our technological capabilities. This is the reason of this workshop, this meeting. Yes, we must get to have our industries and business entities cooperate, to have our best researchers, entrepreneurs, and innovators get closer and work together. This is something that we want to strengthen. We are very pleased to have the opportunity to share our capabilities on innovation in automotive area with our possible partners in Ohio that maybe will be interested to collaborate with us. And on the topic of smart mobility, electric vehicles, and energy efficiency and storage, we are presenting today the Spanish Association of Automotive Suppliers, Auto, and also a few of Spain's most relevant innovation actors like Fundación Ciudad, a technology center specialized in automotive, Indra Sistemas. This is a company related with all the electronics that involved the automotive industry, Ferroglobe Innovation, that I am sure that will show some very innovative materials that maybe will be applied for automotive, and Vegas Motor, that this is a company and a startup company that is working close together with some American partners that they have adapted all engines to less contaminant propellant. Okay, so it is a very good collaboration between one American company and one Spanish company that they are introducing how to decrease the contamination for large engines. Okay, let me introduce a little bit CDTI. A very short way. That CDTI is with an annual budget of €2 billion. It's the agency of Spain's Ministry of Science and Innovation, whose aim is to support knowledge-based innovation by providing advice on financial aids and grants to business innovation projects. Since 1997, the CDTI has supported more than 13,000 business projects with more than 25 American billion euros mobilized in this project. We are a multidisciplinary center, so we offer grants and financial aids for every technology. Okay, not only one sector, but multi-sectoral activity. In addition, the CDTI will also manage the domestic European recovery funds of the European Union for Innovation in Spain. We come for closing the first call for proposal for a specific program devoted to sustainable automotion. This is, has shown us some very innovative projects coming from Spanish companies trying to introduce electrical and new electrical specific and devoted vehicles that they are working with hydrogen or electric batteries. Spain's automotive suppliers devote more than 4% of their revenues to research and development in the vicinity of 1 billion euro, in exceeds of twice the industrial average. So this is a specific sector that we care of it, because it's a very intensive in R&D. And this industry involved 10 technology centers in Spain and 10 technological clusters. So it's a big ecosystem in relation with this this sector. As an example, and only in smart mobility, in 2018, the CDTI has mobilized 261 million euros, contributed to 2,000 million euros in a total of 253 operations. So this is the volume to what we used to devote to this area. CDTI's grants and loans are located in a competitive evaluation process. So first of all, we check the technological excellence of the proposal. After that, we check the adequate position between the project and the company that wants to develop this project. And we propose just finance the project if everything is okay, the technological excellence and the adequate profile of the project and the company. This sector, the revenues of the sector, 60% of the revenues of the sectors are related with internationalization. So it's also important from this point of view. This is a big contributor for our balance on internationalization activities. And beyond our domestic financing action, CDTI also promotes the internationalization of R&D and innovation business projects of Spanish companies, and manage the participation of Spanish companies in international organizations and programs like such as the framework program of the European Union, that maybe some people in these workshops knows. Okay, it is the biggest European program related to research and development. So the Spanish representative belongs to CDTI there in this framework program. We also promote international cooperation supported by our own network of international delegations worldwide. And Juan Antonio, it's our delegate in Washington, and we have one office there. Maybe we will open soon a new office in States. I will be the opportunity just to meet there maybe next year in order to see this possibility. We have developed multilateral programs in order to promote the cooperation with that our companies can cooperate with companies in other areas of the world. We have also bilateral programs with some specific agencies like with Japan, China, India, South Korea, Egypt, and others. And we have also unilateral programs. That is the way we are using in the States. We propose finance aid to Spanish companies that wants to collaborate with one company from the States. We assume just to support by one financial aid or grant to our company, just in order to promote this cooperation. These programs do not entail any change of funds. between countries. Yes, it's only each country finance its their companies, and that's all. Okay, there is not interchange of funds from governments. The Spanish portion of the project, when eligibility is assets and certifies entitled to finance support domestically. More than 20 joint projects have already been financed since 2015, and we have mobilized a nice budget for 25 million euros. Recently, CDTI has signed an agreement with Puerto Rico, that Trust for Science, Technology and Research. This is a specific agency to provide financial and management support to their respective participants in joint bilateral research and innovation projects. Since 2019, we have been working together, creating a closer connection with the state sectors and industries. And we started with cybersecurity and space in 2020. Now this is the turn to the automotive sector. So yeah, I think it's this is a nice opportunity to know a little bit more between us. Spain is aligned with the European Union objectives concerning transatlantic cooperation, and we want to go in a deep manner in this way. This respect, let me mention the recent launch of the Trade and Technology Council in Pittsburgh. This is near to the local position from the automotive sector in the state. Further to the summit of President Biden with the President of the European Commission, Mrs. von der Leyen, and whose main objectives is to strengthen transatlantic collaboration. This is the CDTI goals as well. Okay, try to develop more collaboration from an industrial point of view between Spanish companies and American companies. Please feel free to reach our Spain Office for Science and Technology, hosted by the Embassy of Spain in Washington, DC, at your convenience, and be our guest. Thank you all for your participation in the events. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Javier. Javier, our General Director. I'm going to pass the floor to another Javier Romero, who is coordinating the whole event. Javier, I think we should start with the company's presentations.
Yes, we are going to start. One moment. Well, I have problem with the video. We are going to start with the presentation of the companies. We start with a representative for Cernauto, Cecilia Medina, that is responsible of RTD and training RTD and training in Cernauto is the association for all the Spanish companies that work in automotive industry for components. Please, Cecilia, is your floor.
Okay, I am trying to share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay. Okay, so good afternoon and good morning to the States. I am Cecilia Medina. I'm the RTD manager of Cernauto, that is the automotive, the Association of Automotive Suppliers in Spain. Today, I'm here also with another hat, that is the coordinator of the Spanish Automotive and Mobility Technology Platform, to give you a general overview of the sector and in which technology solution we are working on. There are around, just to put in context, there are around 300 automobile assembly and engine production plants in Europe, only 16 of them in Spain. However, we are very competitive. I like to include this graphic in my presentation because it shows it's very clear. And this is one of the reasons why we are the second largest producer in Europe and the 9th in the world, as I said Javier in his introduction. But another very important point is the strong supplier industry that we have, with more than 1,000 companies of all sizes, with more than working in more than 170 countries, and also it's important innovation ecosystem that supports them, where you can find a specialized technology center, IT entities, infrastructure, that we will have some example after my presentation. As we always say in Spain, that a picture's worth more than 1,000 words, I would like to share with you this video that summarizes the main characteristics of the sector. Also, what is being done in Spain to address the technology challenges.
The arrival of man on the moon half a century ago was an event that inspired the whole world. 2 years later, a four-wheeled vehicle was used to explore the lunar surface. It was a technology revolution comparable to the one the automotive industry experiences today. We are not before a time of change, but a change of era. The Spanish automotive industry is a solid, competitive and innovative network which contributes 10% of the Spanish GDP and 9% of working population. There are more than 1,000 suppliers in Spain in permanent evolution, and which count on the support of relevant, specialized technology and research centers. An innovative ecosystem internationally recognized that supports technology differentiation as a vehicle for change. It is one of the biggest investors in research and development and innovation, 3 times more than the average of the Spanish industry. Currently, transport faces important challenges on environmental, energetic, economic and social levels. The automotive suppliers contribute to the solution as the essential foundations of the value chain. The automotive suppliers contribute to the solution as the essential foundations of the value chain. Responsible for more than 75% of each vehicle, Spanish parts suppliers already provide technological solutions for the new mobility paradigm. A mobility that will become more sustainable, meeting the decarbonization and air quality improvement goals, besides preserving qualified jobs and industrial competitiveness. The concept of technologic neutrality bets for the development and optimization of technologies that reduce emissions, alternative propulsion systems, and all sorts of green innovations to make vehicles cleaner and more efficient. Commitment towards the environment focuses on weight reduction of vehicles and the compliance of the European targets of recyclability and reusability, the basis of circular economy. A reduction of 10% in weight provides a reduction of around 6% in fuel consumption. In order to introduce new functionalities without penalizing the vehicle weight, the sector work focuses on redesigning components, building lighter structures, new interiors, and the development of innovative materials without compromising safety. Transportation will be safer, with the aim of 0 accidents and 0 victims. Spanish suppliers have been working for years on connected and automated driving, identified by the European Union as one of the 10 technologies that will change our lives. Cars will be the second behind mobile phones in terms of connectivity, which makes this journey even more fascinating. The most advanced driving assistance systems, telematic modules designed to telecommunicate with their surroundings, or the automated processes that affect the vehicle are only a few innovations developed by the industry. These add to artificial intelligence, positioning technologies, and cybersecurity. Spain stands out in the approval of these technologies and offers the possibility to carry out numerous tests in real driving conditions. All these changes are possible if we transform the way we do things. The revolution is already among us. Spanish component manufacturers' plants are among the most automated in Europe, a key point in order to achieve high levels of competitiveness. It represents the advance of the 4.0 industry, streamlining processes and more flexible and intelligent production systems, and also improving quality and product customization. With the talent and creativity of thousands of highly qualified professionals in the development of technology solutions, components made in Spain are the symbol of quality and the passion we put into what we do. The conquest of the moon inspires people of today exactly as it did half a century ago. And this revolution is similar to the one the automobile industry is living, where the focus is no longer on the vehicle, but on the life and the transportation experience of people. We are today, now, at a key moment. We have the technology, we know how to do it, and we can do it.
Okay, I just want to highlight one figure in this slide that is the close to the 4% of the investment in R&D and I, which is the triple of the industrial average in Spain. And that means that we are involved in many projects at national and international level. As it said in the video, a new mobility concept, autonomous driving, the digital service, and the electrification of the powertrain, what we have called MADE for short, are the basis of a disruptive change in our world, in the automotive world, and the pandemic that we were living in 2 years ago has only amplified these challenges. For this reason, from the technology platform, we are working in two main directions. One is to develop an R&D&I strategy to work all together with the same objectives. The objective is to position and be competitive in this sector as we have been in the past, and to foster and promote the existing capacities we have in Spain to try to attract a new national and international project with industrial and technological investment relating to these megatrends. Now we are working on the 4 strategic projects that you can see in the column of the middle, all related with battery technology evolution, the value chain associated with the hydrogen and fuel cell for electric mobility, creation of Spain as a global reference environment for the design, testing, and validation of the advanced solution for automated, connected, and sustainable mobility, and data engineering and artificial intelligence associated with intelligent manufacture. Here you can see the ecosystem involved in these 4 projects, more than 100 entities of all kinds. that now have a clear objective of be part of this new instrument that also Javier Ponce named in his introduction, that is created within the scope of the Spanish recovery plan. Is what we call PERTE, a strategic project of private and public collaboration for the economic recovery. And the automotive sector had been chosen, the first one of them, due to the knock-on effect on the rest of the Spanish economy. And now we are working hard to meet the objective related to the electric and connected vehicles. So that's all from my side. See, if you have any question, we have a round after the presentation, and thank you very much for your attention. Javier.
Yes, thank you very much, Cecilia. Now we are going to have the presentation of 4 entities that are very relevant in Spain, and they are going to present the entity and also projects related with CDTI that they have been supported by us. We start with Javier Romo. This is the project manager in Fundación CIDAUT. CIDAUT is a technological center very important in the automotive sector, and I give him the floor. Please, Javier Romo, it's your time.
Thank you very much, Javier, for your nice presentation. First of all, good afternoon for all of you who are in Spain or in Europe, and good morning to the ones who are at the other side of the Atlantic. Okay, well, today first of all, I am Javier Romo, as he has said. I am the responsible of mobility at the CIDAUT, that is a research and development center located in Valladolid, quite close to Madrid. And today I'm here on behalf of a consortium of four research and development centers in Spain that have created a consortium to advance on the knowledge about connected and automatic driving. The name of this project is Integra, and the aim is we are doing a strategic cooperation to research connected and automatic driving solutions for highly safety solutions at complex environments. Is not only a technical project, it's also a strategic project. We are trying to get the excellence on the knowledge about the technologies that are involved in the development of the connected and automated mobility. So the strategic target of the project is the development of digital instrumentation relevant to increase safety in assisted driving scenarios through anti-collision sensory system and intelligent networks, including the vehicles as communication nodes and enhancing the development of automatic vehicles. Also, vehicle to everything or vehicle to infrastructure connectivity is promoted. The main target of the project is the development and training of the involved research and development centers to tackle innovative technology solutions, fostering connected and automated application in complex urban environment. First of all, also, I would like to introduce the consortium. As I have said, we are 4 research and development centers. The leader of the consortium is CITAG, is a research and development center focused mainly on the automobile sector with high skills on automotive driving. Then we have also ITENE inside, who is in the southeast of Spain, that are competitive on logistics. The third one is Euroscat, that is located in Catalonia, in the south, in the northeast of Spain, who are specialists in technologies for information and communication. And finally, CIDAUT, who is also in the automotive sector, but very focused on internal safety, both active and passive safety. Very important in this consortium is the high complementarity we have among all of us. As I have said, CITAG is focused on the automotive sector with high skills on software development of hardware solutions, sensor integration, communication in the vehicle. FIDAUT has high skills on all the aspects related to safety, also with some electrification of mobility and automated driving. ITN is for high mile solutions, advanced logistics and virtual prototyping of vehicles. And finally, I2CAT is all the aspects related to connectivity, short range and long range connectivity, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, and so on. So as a consortium, we are covering all the skills needed to the development of the automated driving. Just to make a very short summary of the project, it's a 3 years long project that has started this year, so we are quite at the beginning of it. We have some technical activities. I will explain a little bit better in the next slide, but here what I want to highlight is that the relationship between the tasks developed by each of the partners, we have a strong interrelation between the works that we are making. At the end, we have to join all our capacities to be able to develop the final solution. And from the technical point of view, the project is based on four main pillars. In one side, the connected and automated solutions that are led by CITAG. The second pillar of the project is the integral safety at automated driving scenarios that is led by FIDAUT. The third one is the connected environment simulation tools that is led by EIDOSCAT. And the fourth one is the safety technologies for last mile solutions that is led by ITN. Each of these pillars, we will start with the definition of complex scenarios. The complexity, we are focusing mainly on urban scenarios because it's the place where the automated driving is more difficult, and this is why this is the environment we have chosen for the development of the project. The second technical task is related to the technology development. That is the longest, attending to the time dedicated and to the resources dedicated. And in the final state of the project, we will build virtual and physical prototypes of each of the solutions to finally, in the fourth task, to make the validation. But as I was saying at the beginning, it's not just a technical project. There are other kind of activities and targets that are related to training and human resources, internationalization and exploitation. For training and human resources, we are going to develop many training activities, not only inside the consortium, but also for the companies and all other actors or stakeholders that are around well, Spain or Europe. Also, we have to make talent attraction activities from around the world and also national talent attraction. We are going to work in gender equality actions and disability people integration. From the internationalization point of view, we have the challenge to mobilize as much enterprise from our surroundings that we could, and also the participation on international projects to foster the international cooperation and to participate in international forums is among the targets of the project. For the exploitation, there is a plan to transfer all the technology we are going to build along the project with the companies, entities, and around Spain, around Europe, around the world. Also, we have a plan for intellectual property protection and all the spin-off generation, and also a plan for disseminate all the knowledge that we are getting thanks to the project. Also to highlight that the consortium has a large national and international presence. All of us are used to participate in important international congresses. As far as we are from different sections of the automotive and driving solutions, we are covering a lot of congress, and also we actively participate in several associations around in Europe and also in Spain. Finally, to close the presentation, to thank the CDTI, because all this project is being funded by them. And here are the website of all the partners participating and the contact details. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Javier. Now we are going to have the next speaker. The next speaker is Rodrigo Castañeira. He's working as in Indra Sistemas. Indra is one of the large companies in Spain that work in different sectors, and he is in charge of innovation and business development. Please, Rodrigo, is your floor.
Okay, thanks, Javier, for the introduction and also for the invitation. Yeah, as Javier said, I work for Indra. That is, can you? Okay. That is a technology company. It's the main technology company in Spain, where we have two main business. We have one dedicated to transport and defense, where I work, and also we have another business unit related to consultancy, focus on digitalization. Indra has around 50,000 employees worldwide, distributed in 155 countries, and we perform a huge investment on R&D activities in order to bring the latest technologies to our clients. We invest last year 265 million euros on research and development initiatives. In Indra in the USA, we have been for more than 20 years. Actually, our headquarters are located in Georgia, and recently we opened an office in Virginia, because we are involved in several projects related to highways and toll operations, but also we have been involved in other states, like you see San Francisco, Texas, Indiana, where we have deployed our solutions on the transportation sector. In addition to the transportation sector, we also work for other government agencies and private corporations, like the United Nations or the US Navy, since we are the first European provider for the US Navy. We provide transport solutions for all transport modes, and we provide end-to-end services from highways to railways to ports and airports. We cover from the design, but also till the maintenance of the solution and services that we deploy. So related to the project that I'm going to introduce, Movilidad 2030, we have a key solution that is Horus, that provides functionalities to control, operate, and monitor connected and cooperative mobility. We have developed different services during the last years. We have secured the communication between the highway and vehicles, and also we are supporting the latest communication technologies in order that we can communicate different services to vehicles. Our participation in European projects and also our collaboration with US entities, we have achieved that our solution is aligned with the standards that are in Europe and USA. And as I said, we have been working more than 10 years on projects related to connected vehicles. So today, I'm I'm very happy to speak on behalf of Mobility 2030. That is a project funded by CDTI. Started last year, and it will last for 38 months. And Indra is the project coordinator of this initiative. This initiative brings 7 actors very relevant in the industry of connected and cooperative mobility. We have Indra, as I introduced. We are a technology company that we provide technology not only in the infrastructure, but also inside the vehicles. We have Ficosa, that they provide onboard equipment and solutions and components. We have Volvox, that recently this is a Spanish company that is in the NASDAQ. They provide a charger, electric vehicle charger. We have Iberdrola, that is a energy utility company, and Sacir, that is a construction company from Spain. This project brings not only these 7 organizations from Spain, also brings a lot of universities from all areas from Spain that they perform fundamental research. And also we are involved with different traffic and road authorities in order that the objectives of the projects are aligned with their expectations. And with this consortium, what we want to achieve. So what we want to achieve is that we want to develop technologies in order that we can deploy connected and cooperative automotive mobility at larger scale and include this concept in the mobility as a service paradigm. To do that, we have structured this project in 4 pillars to address all the key components. First, and one of the most important pillars, is the onboard inside the vehicle. So we are working on developing an embedded system for deploying of connected and automated vehicles. We are working from communication system, but also from systems in order to detect and process the environment of the vehicle. From the infrastructure side, we want to provide added value services so the infrastructure can support the connected vehicles in their maneuvers. And also we want to integrate new payment solutions and also to monitor the performance of the connected vehicles in order to avoid any risk situation. And finally, the last 2 pillars, less technological, but also very important. One is related to the sustainability, how we can involve the electromobility and also the new regulation and new design that it will be needed for the deployment of the electric vehicles and also of the connected vehicles. We have several objectives that we want to address in this project funded by CDTI, but the most relevant are to deploy what is called in Europe Day 2 and Day 3 services, that are services that they will support connected and automotive vehicles on cooperative maneuvers. So they will be using the information from their environment to ensure that they drive with higher safety levels. Then we want to work on a new prototype of safe wireless charging system for electric vehicles. So this is something that can really push the uptake of electric vehicles in Europe and also worldwide. We are also discussing how we can manage the coexistence between the connected vehicles and non-connected vehicles in the next year, because it will be a scenario that they need to be addressed. And also working on how we can optimize the electric vehicle batteries and the new requirements for the design of the infrastructure. We're going to develop different what we call evaluation scenarios, where we want to bring all these components that we are going to develop in a tangible manner. So we want to develop a scenario for cooperative incident management, where we want to involve different vehicles and infrastructure, e-valet parking, in order to have this service uptake in the next 3-4 years. Also to monitor the behavior of the connected and autonomous vehicles from the infrastructure side, in order that we ensure that these vehicles are safely deployed in our roads. And as I said, we will also address scenarios to validate new components on electromobility, and also how these new vehicles can be promoted to the access of low emission areas, that in Europe is one of the top priorities nowadays. So with that, as I said, we started last year in November. It's been 1 year more or less of initial work, but some initial development has been already implemented. We have worked in new technologies to do the payment of the infrastructure using Bluetooth and also V2X. We are developing this supervision of connected vehicles. We have initial prototypes on collecting the information from V2X in order that we can create alerts. We are defining initial day 2 and day 3 services to be deployed. We are also monitoring the carbon footprint of the vehicles, and also to identify how many occupants are inside of the vehicle, in order that we can identify the carbon footprint not per vehicle, per occupant. Working on algorithms of traffic prediction, in order that we can use V2X data to feed these models and these algorithms, in order that they can forecast traffic flows in the next hours. Also working with the latest 3D LiDAR technology, in order that we can classify vehicle and also to detect incidents that can be shared with connected vehicles. And finally, working with this prototype of electric charger, fast electric chargers wireless, and optimizing the different routes in order to enhance the batteries usage. So with this, that's all. It's the beginning of this project, and we hope that in the future we can update you with further developments and results.
Thank you very much, Rodrigo. I think that it has been very nice, your presentation, and we can see how are your potential and the potential of the consortium. Now we are going to have
Thank you.
We are going to have the opportunity to listen to José Manuel Míguez, que is project manager in Ferroglobe Innovation. This is a Spanish company, like I said, like you know, they have also facilities in United States, and they are going to speak about their capabilities and also about the project that is in some way related with the materials that the batteries are manufacturing. Please, José Manuel, is your floor.
Good morning and good afternoon in Spain. Thank you very much for this opportunity to the CDTI. I will try to explain what's Ferroglobe and then also the project about batteries. So Ferroglobe is a international company. We are the leader of producer of metallurgical silicon. We also produce other silicon alloys and manganese alloys that are the raw materials for several sectors like solar, automotive, consumer construction, and energy. We are, as I said, we are the leader in silicon-based material, and we have a market share of 14% of global production. Our levers of growth are innovation, quality, and sustainability. And our corporate priorities are safety, operational excellence, and customer focus. We are located in all around the world. We are present in 4 continents, in several countries. We have 26 operation centers with 69 electrometallurgical furnaces. And we provide products to customers all around the world, but mainly in our main markets are Europe and North America. So this is to show our global footprint. As I said, we are mainly located in Europe and the east coast of United States and also Canada. We are an integrated company. We own our own quartz mines, that is the ore we use to produce silicon. And we also have a coal mine in US. We are in the NASDAQ with the ticker GSM. We have a market capitalization of about 1.45 billion and 3,200 employees. So we are present at Ohio. We have the brewery plant that is located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. We have 5 furnaces there, 3 furnaces producing ferrosilicon and 2 furnaces with silicon. Total capacity is above 50 megawatts of capacity. We have also sizing facilities to mill the material. And the main products for this factory are silicon, ferrosilicon, magnesium ferrosilicon, inoculants, and high purity silicon. So we are committed with new technology, new developments, and we want to play a big role in the new battery market. So we are also trying to develop new products, new active materials based on silicon, and we have different target partners in the value chain. We want to supply silicon raw material for the advanced active material producers, normally graphite or anodic material producers, and we also want to produce ready-to-use silicon to be used for cell manufacturers. So why silicon? The current technology, they use graphite in the anode, that is negative pole of the lithium-ion batteries. But they want to decrease the size of the batteries, increase the capacity, the range of the vehicle, and they also want to reduce the charging time. And so the 2 main characteristics of silicon, the higher gravimetric capacity, that is 10 times the capacity of graphite, and it has better fast charging capabilities. But obviously, this is at a cost. There are also some problems, that is the volumetric expansion of silicon. But there are strategies to mitigate this problem, and everybody recognizes this is the next material in the anode of batteries. And just to show you how impressive is the contribution of silicon to the capacity, only 8% by weight in the anode could contribute until 50% of the capacity. So the project I want to present today is Lion HD, high density, that is funded by CDTI. There are 8 companies in this consortium. The goal is to develop new materials, active or inactive, for the lithium-ion battery, targeting to increase energy density by 20%, decrease the cost by 15%, and reduce emissions, CO2 emissions by 20%. So I would like to highlight CETIN, that is a research institute. It's not part of the consortium, but they coordinate all this proposal. And they have expertise in research and development of advanced materials for energy stored applications, cell assembly, and testing. The researching lines are focused on materials optimization for the different components of the cells, composites, binders, coatings, cathode, and specific materials for electrolyte and separators. They have a brand new electrochemical lab in which they can study all these materials and they can process and study the performance. We also have the company HI Iberia, that is one of the leading software development ICT solutions companies in Spain and Europe, and they are trying to develop a predictive model to design new materials, new cathode materials, and they will try to synthesize these new cathode materials and prove that the artificial intelligence can be used for designing, accelerating the innovation of materials. We also have the company ABCR Labs, that they are a chemical company producing customized organosilanes, and they work into parts of the battery. They want to produce electrolyte additives, amino organosilanes, and also to make a surface modification of active materials. The company Quantum Medical Cosmetics is a company located in Barcelona area and dedicated to the design, development, production, and marketing of high-performance cyanoacrylate adhesives, with a clear commitment to the development of its own technology and innovative vocation. Its contribution to this project focuses on the generation of polyelectrolytes and binders for different uses in the batteries. The company NanoCare is a technological company providing to the market advanced ceramic-based solutions for different applications. In this case, they are producing some active material based on graphite and carbide. The company Rinsa produces fibers and powders of synthetic and natural origin for reinforcing products in sectors such as paints, elastomers, automotive, plastics, or batteries. And they will produce active material based on iron sulfur or manganese sulfur. And also they will work on binders using PAN fibers. The company Química del Nalón is a family-owned coal tar distiller that is trying to diversify its current portfolio toward new sustainable applications, and they will produce synthetic graphitic products and pre-graphited materials like silicon carbon composites with and without functional additives. And finally, Graphenea is a leading graphene company, and they will manufacture and supply graphene for the active materials and to improve the mechanical properties of the electrode. Ferroglobe, we will develop silicon active material, and our main product is what we call micrometric silicon. That is a powder, silicon powder with a few microns of size. We've been working in 5 dimensions to improve the properties, the size and the morphology, the chemistry on surface, the purity of the material, and doping. Ferroglobe has a long track record on purifying silicon. We've been working in other projects to purify silicon, for example, solar project. And so we have technologies to do that. We are very flexible. We can dope the material at intentionally some impurities to change the properties. We are developing technology to mill the material and to produce very narrow size distribution. And we think that all our capabilities will allow us to be the most cost-effective producer of silicon for the battery. So this is one of the parameters we are working on improving, trying to produce a very homogeneous material with a very narrow distribution, without fines or coarse particles. So the behavior of the material in the electrode will be very homogeneous. So apart from the micrometric silicon, we also produce submicro and nano. Then these materials are also supplied to other partners of the project, and they produce silicon carbon composite. We produce different sizes from 300 nanometers to 1 micron, or even below 300 nanometers. Very low oxygen content that is very deleterious for the performance, and we produce with our partners silicon carbon composites that could be used directly in the anode. So we are committed with sustainability, and if we compare the carbon footprint of ferroglobe production today, is half of the carbon footprint on average in China, and our target is to reduce further this carbon footprint. Even we have for batteries, we have the ambition of being carbon neutral, and for that we are working on producing renewable charcoal, that is the reductant we use for producing silicon, and also fostering the use of renewable and low carbon footprint energy mix. So if we compare the carbon footprint of graphite, that is the current material used in the anode, that we see that it's 4 kg of CO2 per kilowatt hour of the battery, and our target with our footprint today is below 0.2, and as I said, our ambition is to be nearly carbon neutral. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. We will be glad to interact with you. Thank you.
Thank you, José Manuel. It's also a very nice presentation. Now we are going to finish this Spanish part with the companies, companies Vegas Motor. We have with us to José Molinero, that he is the Quality Processes Director. As I said before, this company is participated by CDTI and is one of our bets in companies in the capital risk area in CDTI. Please, José, your floor.
Thank you very much, Javier. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the Ohio and CDTI for inviting us in this dialogue. My name is José Molinero, as Javier said. I work as a quality director, and also I manage the research and development projects. Vegas is a technology-based company, which is pretty young. It was founded in 2015. Right now, we are a team of 44 people, but 2 years ago, we were only 9 people. In the last 5 years, we have used all our efforts developing the first European engine, LPG engine proposed with liquid injection that has been homologated under the Euro 6 standards, that it has been approved for commercial vehicles, for trucks and city buses. And we are also right now developing a new engine, a 4-cylinder engine, which is going to be integrated into last mile vehicles. These 4-cylinder engines is going to be proposed only by biopropane, and hopefully in the next 2-3 years by hydrogen. During these 5 years, and for the development of this engine, we have been supported by the CDTI, and also through the tool called Invierte, we have been supported for the capital increase of the company in order to help us going into the industrialization of the projects. Right now, we have 3 different facilities in Spain. One of them is in the Basque Country, where we finish the assembly of the engines. The bigger facilities is right now in Madrid, where we do the prototypes and integrations. The engines we develop, they go to used vehicles where we take out the diesel engine, which are like 2, 3 until 7 years old, and we put our LPG engine inside. And then we have 3 testing cells in the CMT in the University of Valencia, where we do the new research and development projects. Right now, our resources are 3, as I said before. We have 3 different testing cells in Valencia. In one of them, we are developing the 4-cylinder engine. In other one, we are doing the durability test and nationalization of some components for the engine. And in the other one, we are developing the evolution of the engine and doing the first trials with hydrogen. We use the one-man, one-engine process in order to assemble the engines in the Basque Country right now. Although for the next year or 2 years, we'll go to a more automatization process regarding the assembly of the engines. And in Madrid, we have a calibration bench for heavy-duty trucks in order to try the trucks once we install our engine. Our main partners, we differ between technological partners, which help us research and development activities, which are like the University of Valencia, Repsol, and ITS, which is a Polish lab that help us with the homologation during homologation of the emissions regarding the engines. And our industrial partners, we work with some first-line partners. 2 of them are from the United States. Mass Motorsports help us with the engineering of the engine, of the big engine, and they also are producing parts of the engine, and they assembly part of the engines as well out there. They are in Texas, and we have worked a lot with Pinnovo, developing all the strategies of the engine, and we also buy them the hardware of the ECU. Hesse is a Canadian company, and we have developed with them the post-treatment system for our engine. There are some other companies from Spain and from other parts of the world, like Fico, Bosch, ZF, and so on. Our expertise during the last 5 years, as I said already, we have developed our own injection system, and we have homologated as well as the after-treatment system. We have developed with some Spanish companies the oil pump and the cylinder heads of our own vehicle, and we have put so many efforts regarding the electronic system. We have developed our own electronic system, and it's homologated by us. Right now, talking about projects we are doing right now and we want to do in the next months. We are evolutioning our engine. Right now it works with LPG, and we are developing some special parts for the engine in order to get the engine work only with biopropane, and we want to do the first trials hybridating biopropane and hydrogen to work with the big engine. This project was presented to get support and finance from the CDTI in July, and we really expect to get the finance from the CDTI. We have also developing a new 4-cylinder engine. We are doing it by ourselves, and we want this engine to work only with biopropane at the beginning. Then we want to be working with biopropane and hydrogen, and then in 3 years' time or something like that, we want this engine to work only with hydrogen. This project has been submitted to the EIC accelerator, which is some kind of tool that the European Union has to support bigger projects. And the last one we present as a consortium here in Spain with some Spanish companies and innovation centers as the Valencian ITEC and the University of Zaragoza. We have presented to develop a new connected last mile vehicle, which is only powered by hydrogen and specifically for refrigeration applications. This is going to be a 28-month project, and we started developing in September. And for me, that was all. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Jose. Well, now we are going to cross the Atlantic and we go with the representative from Ohio. We are going to start with Mr. Luke Stake. He's the managing director of Drive Ohio. Please, Mr. Luke, well, when you want. Your floor.
Look, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Sorry about that.
Yes, we can hear you now.
First of all, thank you to CDTI and our friends at Jobs Ohio. I think the one thing that you'll see throughout my presentation is the reliance on partnerships. And we've got a good lineup of those partners, whether that's Ohio State or our local partners. So what is Drive Ohio? Drive Ohio is the state's one-stop shop for automated, connected, shared, and electric vehicles and infrastructure. That's in the air and on the ground. And what we have done with our portfolio has been to develop and establish partnerships with local communities and technologists around these key sectors. What do we bring to the table? We bring leadership. Of course, we bring partners, we bring talent, and we bring a portfolio and a dynamism for innovation that we think differentiates us from any other state. This is what we bring. All 88 counties, all agencies of the state of Ohio. The one thing about Ohio, we have 11.5 million people. We have urban, we have ex-urban, we have rural, we have 4 seasons. We have a microcosm of the United States. At Drive Ohio, we say if you want to sell anything across the globe, you should probably test it out in Ohio first. So our ability to form partnerships and again, connect technologists with communities and areas that are trying to solve real world problems is something that we really value. Our connected portfolio, we cut the ribbon this past September. Eric Phillips was there, Giorgio and our friends David Cook were there from Ohio State. So the world's most connected highway, 35 miles between Dublin at the east end and TRC, the Transportation Research Center, on the west end of Connected Highway. Here you can see a little bit of that. We have 61 roadside units. Honda is currently running 200 of their own vehicles doing connected vehicle work. And then also first quarter of 2022, we will be kicking off the projects of what we call Connected Marysville and also Connected Dunwood work as well. And this is just some quick facts. $100+ million invested by local, state, and federal partners, 430 strands of fiber. Again, the overarching importance of this project is the partnerships and the coalition that we bring. The companies that we talk to want to have long-term working relationships with state, federal, and industry partners. So again, you know, our Lieutenant Governor did a really nice job of outlaying in that video where the administration is on EVs. He also did a really good job during his remarks of kind of establishing where we are with smart mobility. He said it's a team effort, right? Those that collaborate the most are the ones that are going to win. And we really think that's part of our secret sauce here in the state of Ohio. I can't underestimate the importance and thus the value of the Transportation Research Center. In July of 2019, they cut the ribbon on this intersection. This is part of the Smart Center, 540 acres dedicated solely to connected, automated, shared, and electric vehicle technologies. That CAV environment, the ability to go from a testing environment to a real world environment on 33 within 2 minutes, you're not going to find that anywhere else in the United States. So the value and the partnerships that we have with Brett and his team are just invaluable. Connected Marysville. I know Eric will probably touch on this a little bit more than I will, but again, what we can't do is anything without local partners. I'll leave it to him to give the details, but again, just that when we look at this 33 ecosystem, as we say, the ability to go from a more urban area through a rural area to a really dense suburban urban area, all within 35 miles, and to connect with different communities along the way that may have different challenges, may have some similar challenges. Again, it just differentiates us from other programs in the United States. We can also talk about Smart Columbus, the connected vehicle environment that was done during the $50 million Smart Cities program. Again, the ability to connect with different public-private agencies around these issues. I know we're talking, thus far we've talked a lot about Central Ohio, but the opportunity is really all over the state. Our automated work. Speaking about around the state, our ADS grant, our Automated Driving Systems grant, was awarded in 2019. And with the majority of connected and automated vehicle research happening in urban areas, the U.S. Department of Transportation wanted to get a sense of what is happening in a rural area. As you see, you know, a lot of land is in rural locations. 54% of road fatalities happen on rural roadways. So the ability for this new technology to operate in more rural settings was of great importance. So we won a US DOT grant. Again, you'll see a lot of the same partners: TRC, Bosch, Ohio University, University of Cincinnati, Jobs Ohio. Again, focused on these programs and these technologies in a more rural setting. We also recently won another grant for truck automation. I-70 is a major freight corridor in the United States. Partnering with the state of Indiana, we will be getting a program that will, in revenue service, identifying a company that will be shipping, making money, utilizing said technology. And of course, we can't skip our autonomous shuttle. So the Smart Circuit was the first autonomous vehicle deployment in the state of Ohio. That was part of that Smart Cities program. And one of the things that's most interesting about the technology was what happened during the pandemic. So the second shuttle to deploy in the state of Ohio, Smart Columbus, was the Linden Leap. Initially launched in February of 2020. Of course, we know what happened in March of 2020. So the ability of this technology to pivot to, instead of moving people, moving goods. This shuttle was utilized to move food between two different points in a community that had struggled with transportation issues, access to high quality food. So the art of the possible with these systems has really been developed a lot more, and the flexibility of the technology has opened the eyes of some policymakers on what is possible utilizing automated connected technology moving forward. That's on the ground and in the air. And then our third shuttle will be in the Youngstown area. I was just up in Youngstown on Monday. The Smart 2 project was a build grant from 2018 that incorporates a shuttle on that as well, and that will be starting in Q2 of 2022. We did this summer, we established a framework or a guidebook, the first of its kind in the United States, around these systems. We are very concerned with interoperability and the ability of these systems to not only work between municipalities, but also interstate commerce. So interoperability is of key importance. The state of Ohio is really leading the way on some of this stuff when it comes to those processes and standards to deploying these at scale. Our electric and shared transportation, we did our first EV study in June of 2020. Whenever Ohio, which is a non-zero emission vehicle state, starts talking about electrification, it's news. So we got really good feedback. Basically, this program, this study, was in concert with the Volkswagen mitigation funds administered by the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency. Basically 101 for EVs, kind of developing a corridor-based approach to level 2 and DC fast charging to ease that range anxiety. Of course, a lot of people say, well, why are we doing this, right? Like, why does the state of Ohio feel it needs to make a policy statement on this? Well, the trends speak for themselves. we have the good fortune of having John Bozzella, who's on our board of advisors, and he is the CEO of Auto Innovation, the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, excuse me. And the writing is on the wall. The industry is following the consumer. The consumer is driving these choices. You know, $750 billion will be invested in EVs globally by 2025. So it really is competitiveness on the state's part to make sure, like the LG Lieutenant Governor said, that these jobs of the 21st century are here in the state of Ohio. As part of that program, the first study, we did file applications for 4 state-owned assets with level 2 charging. So we have 2 that are operated by the Ohio Department of Transportation, which Drive Ohio is part of, and then 2 that are operated by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources State Parks. So those are on the grid and usable by the public. Also in September, we did a freight electrification study. You know, the first study is focused on consumer adoption and charging infrastructure. This is really, you know, when it comes to economic impacts, if the market and the industry are not making these decisions, it's kind of a moot point. So we wanted to kind of take a little bit of a deeper dive, engage with those industry partners that are utilizing this, how they're utilizing it, what their economic value proposition is, how they see this scaling over the next 5 to 10 years. And it's a really good overview of where the industry is. Freight is so important to the state of Ohio. It's where we will see our biggest input on automation vis-a-vis the driver, I would argue. And then of course, this electrification. Of course, I'm sure everybody's aware that the federal infrastructure bill recently passed. There are funds available for electric vehicle charging infrastructure. We're still trying to wade through some of those details, but they're definitely a focus of this bill, and we'll see the implementation of those funds over the next 2 years. And we also at Drive Ohio, we have an alternative fuel vehicle registration. We want to see where the vehicles are in the state of Ohio, so it's available on our website that people can track, kind of see. You know, Smart Columbus did a really good job, not only moving the needle on electric vehicle infrastructure, but also adoption of those vehicles and just availability of those vehicles in the market. So a good way to kind of do a little research on Ohio, where EVs are and what's happening stateside. And I would be remiss, you know, I did talk a little bit about our what Drive Ohio does. We do on the ground and in the air. And last week we had a pretty big week in the air. Our Sky Vision asset is basically low altitude traffic monitoring. Is our differentiator in the sky is that we allow beyond visual line of sight flight. So for the drone industry, that's huge. That is the key. And also for our advanced air mobility partners, they want the ability to kind of have a clear sky, as they say, as they develop these systems. We're looking at a beta vertiport that is in Springfield, Ohio. The TRC is the major asset on the ground, Springfield Beckley Airport, and what we have with our Fly Ohio team is just that on the air side. We have 2 major programs, NASA and Agility Prime, both focused on incorporating advanced air mobility, these electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft into the national airspace. So that's the beta simulator. And then this is, we had an advanced air mobility showcase last week at Springfield. That's the lift vehicle that flew. We had our first 2 public flights of electric vehicle takeoff and landing aircraft in Ohio history. One was the lift vehicle, the other was a Kitty Hawk, and it was just a monumental, and I felt like I was standing at the Huffman Prairie of the 21st century. The Huffman Prairie is where Orville and Wilbur Wright, the Wright brothers, kind of developed manned flight over 100 years ago, basically in the same general area. So it was a great event. And just real quick, our partners, it's across the board. It's again, it's a differentiator. It's what we think is part of our secret sauce, part of our value proposition is our ability to build coalition. And then my contact information, if you guys have questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Luke. Mr. Steak, I think it has been very nice your presentation too, and I know that you have to leave. Thank you very much for your time. I think you are very occupied. Okay, we are going to pass to the next speaker. The speaker is Dr. Giorgio Risoni from the Ohio State University. Please.
Very good. Thank you very much. Y buenos días a todos. Es un placer asistir a esta conferencia. I will switch to English now, but it is a pleasure to be here, and I think I can share a brief presentation. I believe that is on. My name is Giorgio Rizzoni. I'm a professor in the Departments of Mechanical and Aerospace and Electrical and Computer Engineering at Ohio State University. We are the land-grant university and the largest research university, the largest university in the state of Ohio. I've also served for over 20 years as director of our Center for Automotive Research, and I will try to give you just an outline of who we are and what we do. Our center was launched in 1991, and its creation was very much related to the Transportation Research Center. You have heard about TRC and their Smart Center activities, and also through a strong relationship between Honda of America Manufacturing and the state of Ohio. We currently have activities that engage something in the neighborhood of about 50 full-time staff, over 100 graduate students, and some 50 faculty across campus. And I will simply explain that what we do is focus on two important aspects of mobility of the future. One is, how do we make our propulsion systems as clean and efficient, whether they be electric, using other kinds of alternative fuels, and also how do we make vehicles safe, secure, intelligent, and of course increasingly autonomous and connected. Of course, education is our primary focus. We provide an environment where our students can work on projects related to the automotive and mobility industry. We have a long history of innovation, and we try to support the state in terms of economic development whenever we can. We have a very strong relationship with Drive Ohio, Fly Ohio. Luke gave a fantastic outline of what the state is doing today through its Drive Ohio and Fly Ohio activities. Last week, as he mentioned, there was this great launch or demonstration at Springfield Airport, and both David Cook and I were actually there. And just to give you an idea, how do we support ourselves? Our mission is to attract research funding. Today, the U.S. Department of Transportation is our single largest sponsor. Industrial partners are very important to us. NASA and ARPA-E, who are agencies of the federal government, as well as the Ohio Department of Transportation and the Department of Energy, are sort of the key sponsors of the activities we're involved in. We have had an industrial consortium that started in 1999. You can see some of the companies that participate in it. You recognize many of the names. We have very strong activities and collaborations with industry, either directly through engineering services program or sponsor research programs, or as partners where we seek to then secure funding from the government for joint projects. Just to give you a snapshot of what we do, starting from the top left, we were recently selected by the Federal Transit Administration to be a directed research and development center that will look at innovation in technology related to low and no emissions transit vehicles. A lot of focus on the electrification of public transit. We have been funded by the Department of Transportation to look at crash safety and also the security of highly automated transportation safety. We have had a sizable program for the past several years with NASA looking at the electrification of commercial aviation. We do a lot of work in energy storage research. I like to describe it as our researchers and companies from molecules to systems, from the material science and electrochemistry of new battery technologies to their integration and implementation in practical systems. And we have an especially broad sponsorship of automotive companies and battery manufacturers in that area. We have a very strong activities focused on cybersecurity as it pertains to both ground and air vehicles. ARPA-E currently is funding a second phase of a large program in which we are demonstrating how we can improve the fuel economy of vehicles using connectivity and partial automation. And I have mentioned TRC already. I'll do it again. TRC is a very important partner to us. Their experimental facilities are critical to our ability to engage in advanced research programs related to vehicle connectivity and automation. And together, OSU Center for Automotive Research, TRC, and Drive Ohio have partnered to secure a substantial amount of funding to do research in the autonomous and connected vehicle space. If you look at where we're going forward, you can see that a large part of what we do, 2/3 of the projects we're involved in, address climate change in some fashion. A strong component, more than half of what we do, relates to automation and connectivity of both ground and air vehicles. And the aerospace industry is becoming an increasingly important part of our portfolio. And in that, we collaborate with the Aerospace Research Center, which is a parallel organization located at the Ohio State University Airport. So in summary, I think a lot of the activities that Luke described so well in terms of the involvement of the state of Ohio are really very much matched by the research activities we're engaged in. And should there be an opportunity for us to interact with any of you, that would be fantastic. In my career, I have had multiple opportunities to collaborate with colleagues in Spain. I certainly have a strong ongoing relationship with Universidad Politécnica de Valencia. I have had interactions with the Basque region through the Automotive Intelligence Center over the years. And so I'm hoping that we will find a way to communicate and collaborate going forward. And with that, I will just close my presentation. And Mr. David Cook, I think, who's the Senior Associate Director in our Research Center, is also in the conversation. I'll have to run off to my next meeting, but it was a pleasure to be part of this. And please connect with us if you think that there might be some reason.
Thank you very much, and for your offer of collaboration with the Spanish companies. Thank you. Now, David.
I don't, nothing to add for the moment. I'll be around for the rest of the meeting if there's questions, since Dr. Rizzoni has to leave, but otherwise pass it over to Eric, and thanks, Eric, for the schedule switch there for us. Very helpful.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I think that we have finished with the presentation of the Ohio participants. We are going to continue with the next part. It's only a small message from Linda Caruso. Linda Caruso is the commercial attaché.
We still had Eric Phillips. I'm sorry, he was the last one on the Ohio side.
Okay.
Yeah, we switched Giorgio and Eric, so Eric's next. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Then go ahead. Sorry. Thank you, Lina.
Eric, you're muted. Eric, you're muted. Eric, you're muted.
I'm here. Sorry. Sorry about that. So, well, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. And I'm going to provide you.
Eric, sorry for the misunderstanding. Go ahead.
Oh, not a problem. No, well, thank you for the great opportunity. We really appreciate CDTI for making this opportunity or providing this opportunity to us and from Ohio. But first and foremost, this is a great project where we've partnered with our friends at Drive Ohio, our friends at Ohio State, and our friends at the Ohio Department of Transportation, and many others to make this project a reality. My role in my community is an economic development director. I work a lot with engineers on a daily basis, but my job is to promote business growth and development in our respective community, providing testing opportunities for companies that really want to test in the mobility sector, but also to hopefully at some point see bricks and mortar in the ground. So that's really my role in this as we move forward. And I've been involved since this began in 2016. To give you some perspective, you can see the right, the state of Ohio You can see where the 33 Smart Mobility that spans 3 different counties in Ohio. It goes from Dublin near I-270, which is the outer belt of Columbus, through Marysville to East Liberty, where the Transportation Research Center is located. It is a 35-mile stretch of highway. This slide shows you why this corridor is important, not only to us, but also to Ohio, to the Midwest, and to the nation. There are over 70 automotive-related companies that are located along this corridor. And of course, the flagship is the Honda plant that was built here started back in 1979. But now you have seen a ton of not only manufacturing, but also R&D. About 15% of the workforce in this along this corridor is engaged in research and development on a daily basis. The community in which I represent, Union County, we actually have more people that commute into our county. It's a population of just over 60,000 people, but we have more people that commute in by far than commute out every day to work here because of all the automotive users that are located along this corridor. This kind of gives you, and I'm not going to go in detail, but gives you the evolution of the project, where this really began as a fiber extension project, but then evolved quickly into a mobility project where we would connect the main campus at Ohio State down in Columbus to the Transportation Research Center, which we've referred to a lot today. I'll have a slide later, but it's ran by Ohio State. And so they really wanted that connection and really to create a special corridor for mobility and the testing of different technologies going forward. To the right shows you our goals: install the smart infrastructure, improve public safety, improve fiber connectivity, because we have broadband connectivity issues along this corridor, and this fiber backbone that we've constructed, which is 432 strands of fiber with expansion possibilities, provides connectivity from a broadband perspective, but also is the backbone for this smart mobility ecosystem that we've actually created. And also, we want to support the CAV and the UAS testing along the corridor. And this is where I get excited, and we want to support economic development and see business growth and development, job creation, and job retention along the corridor. You know, with government, we always have to have structure. We're all familiar with that, but we did set up a Council of Governments, which we have 4 different jurisdictions that are part of that Council of Governments, which provides oversight to the corridor, implementation of the $6 million grant that we received from Federal Highways to support the effort. So, but this is the structure that we set up. A Council of Governments allows governments to come together to share resources, to share planning, and so on. So it really sets the stage for better things to happen when you really put funds together and minds together to support this corridor. So what are our assets along the corridor? Again, it's a 35-mile stretch of highway, 432 strands of fiber in one of 7 ducts. 6 ducts are currently not in use, so we definitely have expansion for extending fiber out along the corridor. We have just over 100 roadside units, 62 roadside units. These are all DSRC, 62 directly along US 33. There are 29 in connected Marysville, soon to be 31 in the connected Marysville area. Now, what's really unique about Marysville, every traffic signal, Marysville has about 25,000 people. Every signal in the city of Marysville has have cameras, as well as part of the system. So they're all smart signals. First fully connected city in the United States. Most of the projects you see in the United States are corridors of major metro areas. So this is an exurban or a rural type community that's fully connected when it comes to traffic signals. There are approximately 10 in the city of Dublin. We are now installing 800 onboard units as well. The applications that we've focused on are red light warning, PED warning, speed zone warning, curve speed, and other applications that we're testing. And then again, what makes this ecosystem really, really unique is that you have open road testing along US 33. You have built environments in connected Marysville and Dublin with all different land uses, and closed testing then at TRC. So you have open road testing connected to closed testing, and TRC is the largest independent automotive proving grounds in the nation. And so that's a great asset that is a great bookend when it comes to the 33 Smart Mobility Corridor. And yes, we get snow and snow in different all types of weather. So you have all weather environments and all land uses that are included. we've mentioned, and Luke did a great job of mentioning the unmanned aircraft systems. And then all told in the region, including Smart Columbus in this corridor, over $600 million have been invested over the last 5 years in smart mobility technology. So some of our regional assets, I'm not going to go too much detail, but we definitely are an automotive juggernaut. You don't think of Columbus as being that, but we have a huge automotive sector that support all the work that's being done. We have great talent, great universities and colleges that support this effort. And then also we have a ton of industry partners that are very important to support the ecosystem that we put together. So connected Marysville, that built environment we discussed, to the right is a picture of the smart intersection. Honda claims it's they always say it's the smartest intersection in the world. They've done some really great work here. We'll have 31 in 2022. We have 3 PED crossings locations that now are part of the system. We also have one intersection in Marysville that has LiDAR, and Honda again claims this to be the first smart signal equipped there as well. In addition to PED warning, red light violation warning, they've also done emergency vehicle detection warning at this intersection as well, and that's something that Honda specifically is working. We've also worked with Panasonic and Hyundai Kia that actually have done additional testing in Marysville. Connected Dublin is approximately 10 signals in a built environment, which includes 2 PED crossings, as well as a roundabout. Dublin has a ton of roundabouts in the city, and they've done a roundabout as well in partnership with Drive Ohio. We have a smart parking that they're working on at Bridge Park, which is basically a multi-use development that they've done in the city of Dublin. And then companies that have tested in Dublin include Denso, Ease Logistics, which is a local distribution company that's teamed up with Goodyear for some tire technology that's going to be used along the corridor. The Transportation Research Center, we've all referred and had different slides for this, but it's 4,500 acres. It's the largest independent automotive proving grounds in the U.S. It includes a 700-mile track, also includes the 540-acre Smart Center. It is the headquarters for testing for the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's for its test center. So a lot of great things are happening at TRC for that closed and testing environment. So excited to have that as part of this corridor. These are statewide projects that are Drive Ohio that Luke actually already, I think, discussed as well. That gives you an example of the breadth of different efforts that Drive Ohio basically is put together. Again, this is kind of the project snapshot. Over 100 roadside units, which includes all different land uses. We have Honda has installed over 200 fleet vehicles have been installed in Honda. We're now working on 400 fleet vehicles for the city of Marysville, 200 for the government agencies between Dublin, Marysville, and Union County, includes school buses as well. And then we have 400 as part of a special project called Connected Marysville, where we'll install volunteers, residents as well as companies can volunteer their vehicles to have onboard units on those vehicles as well. The fiber network I've referred to, which is very robust. And now we're working on a lot of marketing and branding of the corridor, which we have dubbed the Beta District is the new name that we're actually marketing as, where this is a very open environment where we encourage companies to test here, to prove technology, and we're going to continue to push that using TRC as that closed testing center, the corridor and built environment and Connected Marysville and Dublin as another asset as well. But this is something that we really promote as this is the best testing area for these smart mobility technologies in the United States. And that sums everything up. I said everything pretty quickly. This is the Beta District and our marketing efforts going forward. But again, I thank you for your time and I yield back to you.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Now, if there is no questions, I'm going to put a little video from Linda Caruso. She is the commercial attaché in the U.S. Embassy in Spain, and she has the commercial office in Spain. U.S. commercial office in Spain has a special relationship with CDTI. I am very glad to put this video, and then you can listen to her. One moment.
Hi, I'm Linda Caruso, the commercial attaché at the United States Embassy. Javier, thank you so much for your introduction and for inviting me to speak to you today. CDTI is one of our most valuable partners, and it's really encouraging to see how the relationship between Jobs Ohio and CDTI has developed over the few years. The event today is proof of how like attracts like. And when two organizations such as yours join forces, the scope of commercial activity that opens up is very impressive. Before I continue, let me apologize for the fact that I'm not here live and that you have this recording. Unfortunately, I had a commitment that made it impossible for me to change my schedule. So I am doing this recording. Nevertheless, rest assured that when it comes to your questions about Ohio, we're always ready to listen. And on today's call, my colleague Helen Crowley is here. She'll be able to take your questions or information for follow-up. So our office is part of the United States Department of Commerce. We have a network of over 100 offices throughout the United States and another 80 offices outside of the United States. And because our network is so comprehensive, we are in a very good position to assist you in getting your questions answered regarding setting up business in the United States. Following the investment dip during the most severe days of the lockdown in 2020, I'm pleased to say that investment flows have picked up again, and today the U.S. is and continues to be the largest recipient of foreign direct investment with $4.6 billion. Spain is very important to us. It's the 10th largest investor in the U.S. with $88.7 billion in accumulated investment as of 2020. And the investment supports over 92,000 jobs. It's a priority for us at the U.S. Embassy in Madrid to help you and facilitate your expansion into the United States. My office has the lead on supporting Spanish companies interested in investing. We counsel companies, organize events throughout the year, and we try to create meaningful connections for you. And this includes connecting you with economic development offices from any U.S. state or any other entity that you would like to speak with. In addition to the events that we have that take place throughout the year in Spain, we have a culmination of every year in a Select USA Investment Summit that takes place in Washington in June. So the Investment Summit is the largest event covering foreign direct investment in the United States. It is the best option for you to plan if you have interest or questions. It's a one-stop shop. You'll be able to talk to multiple entities and go to workshops, and it's a global event. And this year it takes place the last week in June in 2022. And this year, I think there will be even more interest and more significance on foreign direct investment in the United States, I imagine because of the passing of the infrastructure stimulus bill. As a matter of fact, the bill guarantees at least $9.8 billion will be dedicated to funding for Ohio to replace, repair, and upgrade roads and bridges and other transportation infrastructure, as well as broadband, water, and sewer. The plan, there was in this plan contribution by Senator Sherrod Brown to repair and replace outdated bridges across Ohio and other infrastructure. And there's this component to the plan called Buy America Act, which just to me translates to an extraordinary opportunity for you now to take advantage of any incentive offered by Ohio to establish yourself as a U.S. entity so that you can capitalize on the stimulus funds that will be available to U.S. companies. As I said, we're really eager to assist you in moving your projects forward. We're just a phone call away, and we're eager to hear about your plans. I understand that every organization has its own unique goals and objectives. That's why our support is customized and based upon those objectives. So we invite you to share with us your concerns, your challenges, and your plans. I know that we'll do all we can to help you design a roadmap and connect you with the contacts that you need. And I realize that this invitation may bring up some concerns on the part of your company about confidentiality, but rest assured that all information exchanged with our office is considered confidential. The more we understand about your unique needs, the better we're able to identify options, locations, and solutions that will make the difference to your company between success and failure. If there's only one thing you remember from my remarks today, it's that I urge you to call us and to consider us part of your support system to help you move through barriers that you encounter when you're setting up your business in the United States. Please reach out to me or Helen and ask Helen any of your questions today during the Q&A session. We do look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to getting your call or email. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.
We have finished with all the speakers and with all the presentation, and then I'm going to give the floor to Juan Antonio Serrano to give the last word, and I thank you very much for all the speakers and the attendance.
Thank you, Javier. Well, we have had a very nice team of speakers because we are it's 12 o'clock in Washington, 6 o'clock in Spain. So we have like 10 minutes for question and answers. I saw that in the chat, Rodrigo from Indra asked some question. I don't know if they were answered or you want to add something, Rodrigo?
They were answered. I mean, I have lots of questions because they are very interesting presentation from our US colleagues. So maybe we could have a follow-up, maybe discussion with them, since we are working in the same similar initiatives. So it would be great to share with them more details on our experience and to exchange more knowledge.
Indeed, Rodrigo. Okay, we have now 5-10 minutes for quick questions, but of course we are open to just celebrate face-to-face meetings in the near future. Okay, you will have. So any other question for our panelists? But it's always people are always very shy. I'm going to ask one question, if you allow me, to our friends from Ohio State University, because our friend David Cook, well, he left. I'm sorry, Giorgio. He mentioned that working with the industry, the sponsor research is like 10% of their budget. My question to him or to David is that well, he mentioned some international collaboration with UPV, the University Polytechnical of Valencia. My question to you, David, is which kind of barriers do you find just for more collaboration, for more international collaboration, if any?
Yeah, so we have strategic partnerships around the world. One of the strong programs and the programs you're referring to that Dr. Azzoni mentioned is direct university partnerships for student exchanges, several strategically throughout Europe. And we host about 40 to 50 visiting scholars per year here. So they typically come for 6 months to 1 year and work on industry projects alongside of us during their advanced degrees commonly, so master's or PhD students that are working on industry projects. So that's one form of partnership, is just the exchange of people from both sides. The other is with companies and research centers throughout Europe. Strong partnerships with sister organizations to our research center, specifically in Germany, Italy, in China, and in Korea. So we will partner in technology areas, and it's helpful to get the worldwide perspective as we all approach electrification and automation, to exchange ideas with companies in all the regions. We're all facing the same problem, so we find a lot of common ground.
Thank you very much, David. I like the place you work. Another thing that well, I think if there are no more questions, I don't know if there are more questions, but if there are not, Maria Jesús, I would pass the floor to you just for the closing.
Thank you so much, Juan Antonio, and thank you so much to CDTI for the invitation. Really, guys, it has been so interesting to participate in this session on Spain and Ohio's ongoing work on smart mobility, including, of course, the electric mobility space, and so encouraging to explore the opportunities that the work can do, and this work can open for companies and institutions that are so fully engaged in these mega trends across the transportation industry that we've been talking about, particularly electrification, connectivity, and autonomous driving. I think that all speakers in their presentations have showcased how taking the right opportunity and securing the right partnership can take a good project, much further in terms of scalability, in terms of speed to market, and even in terms of long-term vision. And we have seen that Ohio knows it very well. All agencies participating, 88 counties participating, the private sector participating. So Ohio knows it very well. And in Spain, we know it particularly well. Just one number, our companies, our research centers, our universities are participating in 2 out of every 3 projects promoted and financed by the European Union. And this is a pretty large number. So this is really to stress how much we value collaboration and how much we want to explore it with you guys. I think that this session has been very useful to lay this ground, to see how we can now partner, see those gaps, those niches that could, follow these conversations with tangible and real collaboration projects. I think that we have learned a lot from what one of the leading states in the US is doing. You guys, Ohio is at the forefront of the orderly shift towards electrification and alternative powertrain technologies. We've seen it clearly. And you have also had the chance to learn more about what are the areas where key Spanish stakeholders are working, where they are anticipating, what technologies are they helping develop, and how are they testing those new technologies, business models, and services that will contribute to shape the mobility of the future. I think that's been very helpful to see where we all stand. So one takeaway from my part to you guys is that to our Ohioan friends, because in Spain we know it very well, you can currently find in Spain a very strong momentum behind these trends. And this should come to no surprise, given the strategic relevance and the international presence of our automotive sector. The General Director of CDTI and Cernauto have given some very nice numbers of how strategic and the automotive sector is in Spain and its international presence. And second takeaway, we are committed to keep it that way. as we have keeping it that way for the last 40 years. In fact, when you look at Spain and you look at the automotive sector, one thing that really stands out is that 40 years ago, Spain was ranked within the top 10 largest car manufacturers in the world. And while countries like Italy, the UK, and France were ranked in that list, 40 years ago, they have gone down that ladder to give a space to very competitive countries like China, like Mexico, like Brazil, like South Korea. But Spain has firmly kept that position. And that speaks volumes of how we value, how competitive our automotive industry is. And again, we are committed to keep it that way. And that's why Cernauto and the General Director of CDTI mentioned it in their interventions. The automotive sector is going to be at the core of Spain's investment and reform plan. This plan is going to be financed in a very large part by the European Union Next Generation Fund. Just to remind you, 750 billion euros raised by the European Union to be invested in the European Union. 140 billion will be received by Spain. 70 billion will be received these 2 next years. And the automotive sector is at the core of the modernization and reform and investment plan. So guys, we have the means. You have the project, we have the projects, we have the knowledge, we have the know-how, but you know, we should go the extra mile and find the right niche to collaborate. Because the road is, we have the political support. Ohio has it, Spain has it, but the road is not going to be easy. It's going to be bumpy. You know, we have to find those network of batteries, you know, those electric vehicles being charged rapidly. So we have to bridge the gap between connectivity and fully autonomous driving. There's so many things we can work on. We're doing it. Let's do it together. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for everybody. Thank you very much, María Jesús. It's a pleasure to have you as a closing this event. And only to say that we are going to be in contact with the Ohio representative to try to promote this possible collaboration between Spain and Ohio. Thank you very much.
Just if I can say just another word, just allow me.
Yes, please.
I noticed that in the audience, there was this Spanish company, Exa Engineering. We've been talking about cybersecurity, and we've been, maybe that's an area we should talk a little bit more. And you know, Exa Engineering with blockchain, it's a very interesting projects and services that they are working on. So we should partner and talk a little bit more. And if I can contact that company with the rest of the guys, I would appreciate it.
Okay, great. No problem. Okay, then we finish the event and we keep in contact, María Jesús, and I will try to contact with these ingenieros. Okay, bye-bye.
Gracias a todos.
Gracias.
Bye, thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, thank you all.